Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the McFarlane DC Multiverse DC Classics Batgirl. I got this figure at Target today, so let's take a look at the packaging. As you can see at the top, 22 Moon parts, McFarlane toys, ages 12 plus, DC Multiverse Batgirl. Here she is in the package. We have Batarang, Grappling Launcher, Collector's Card, and Display Stand. One side of the package, Batgirl, DC Classic. Other side, Batgirl. At the bottom, there's a barcode if it helps. And on the back, here she is posed up from the comics. So with no further ado, let's open her up. Alright, now that we got this figure out of the package, here she is with all the accessories laid out. Display stand, collector's card, grappling launcher, and Batarang. Before I take a look at all that, let's talk about and check out the figure. So this is Batgirl, Barbara Gordon, Commissioner Gordon's daughter, or niece, depending on the continuity. This is the classic version. Kind of like the 70s version, maybe the 60s version. It looks good. This is how she was with Batman, Robin, and Batgirl. Before the Bat family got bigger and bigger and bigger and more complicated, she looks great. It's a color scheme I remember reading as a kid in some of the older comics. She's got the red hair sticking out, a little bit of sort of shading on the front, the black on the front of her face, and then the blue in the back. Cloth soft goods cape. It does look to be predominantly reuse of previous Batgirl figures, repainted in a very pleasing paint job. Now, Barbara Gordon is the second Batgirl. Betty Kane would have been the first one. So let's take a closer look. Starting with her head, looks good. Red lips, smile. She looks sort of happy-go-lucky Batgirl, happy to help Batman and Robin fight crime. Sort of black on the front, kind of like how Adam West was. A little bit of shade in there is kind of weird. The blue sort of streak in there. I don't know, the face looks fantastic. The hair looks great. I remember always sort of coming out being very curly, and it's like, it'd be very obvious who she was when the hair like that, but then as things evolved, that was fake hair, blah, blah, blah. But at this time, everything was very simple. Big, giant bat symbol across the chest. Gray, yellow color scheme with blue. Double jointed elbows and knees. Cloth soft goods cape. It's kind of shiny. It's blue on the outside, black on the inside, and of course it has the bendy wire for posing purposes. I believe this is the first Batgirl with a cloth soft goods cape, and it looks like they did a nice job with it. So far, so good. And a closer look at her face and head sculpt. I think it looks great. It looks like she jumped right off the pages of the comics. This is not exactly a Silver Age Batgirl, probably more like Bronze Age. Now let's check out her accessories. And we've seen these accessories plenty of times before, not quite in this paint scheme. So here's her display stand, typical McFarlane display stand. They're putting the classic DC logo in there, and I like that. Next, we have her collector's card, and it's an image of Batgirl from the comics, Batgirl DC Classic. On the back, there is a description. If you want to read that, pause now. And then, for her weapons, we have Batarang and a grappling launcher. The grappling launcher is blue, wire's white, and then it has the hook at the end. Now I wish this piece here was pegged so you could take that out and have it by itself, and then peg that back in and have it like this. That would have been very nice and really wouldn't cost them anymore. Then we have this Batarang, and it seems a little bit big and oversized. A light blue Batarang. Could work for Batgirl, or Batman, or plenty of other members of the Bat family. Here's a look at Batgirl holding and getting ready to throw her Batarang, and then getting ready to use her grappling launcher. Now to talk about her cape. Her cape is made of cloth soft goods, shiny blue on the outside, black on the inside. It's got a bendy wire on both sides, and the bottom is tattered, like Batman capes normally are. It can stretch out about this far and looks magnificent. It looks fantastic, almost like a gliding pose. I love it. Looks great. The inside is a little bit less shiny, but still kind of shiny, and the outside is quite a bit. I love the sort of lines. It just sort of folds back down very nicely. Bendy wire for posing purposes. I love that. I like to have these sort of capes flowing in the wind. Easy way to do that is take it, just run it across your finger going up, across your finger going back down, and across your finger again going over. Take the other side, just sort of tuck it in to match, and bam, there you go. a really quick makeshift cape flowing in the wind. And I can make it look a little better, but tell you the truth, it looks pretty damn good like this. Now to check out the reuse differences and similarities between this new classic Batgirl and the Three Jokers version. And it is 100% the same figure, same sculpt, same articulation, different head, different cape, so let's take a closer look. And I don't really mind. I mean, there might be some slight inaccuracies to her costume here, but it looks like a classic Batgirl should look to me. They nailed the face, the head, the hair, the cape looks good. I'm sure there are some inaccuracies in the costume because they use this body, but it doesn't really bother me. So you can see the feet are the same, the boots are the same, the legs, the belt's the same, the diaper piece, the stomach, the chest with a giant bat symbol, the hands, even with those slightly awkward wrists. These are dated, the old ball joints before they sort of streamline everything. And then, of course, the cape is going to be different, and the hair and head are different as well. And I think these are both really nice Batgirl figures. We have the classic version and the modern version. There are now 7 McFarlane figures that utilize this base body, and they're all Batgirl in one way, shape, or form. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and her accessories, let's check out her height. From bottom to the top of her head, standing about 6.8 inches tall, which can translate to just over 17 centimeters, and if you go to the top of the ears, about 7.1 inches tall. And for her articulation, starting with her head, of course, it can rotate side to side. The hair gets in the way a little bit, but if you want to, you can actually do a 360 with her hair. Head goes forward and back a little bit. Can't really tilt and rock because she's got the hair obstructing that. Shoulders on a ball joint goes out a little bit more than 90 degrees. Up, down, around, all the good stuff. She's got that butterfly ring between her shoulder and chest, increasing the range of motion and covering the large gap that would be there. Bicep cut below that. Double jointed elbows. The wrists can rotate, and it's hinged as well. Ball joint in the torso, rotate around, forward and back. Another one in the waist, rotate around, forward and back. Between the two, pretty good range of motion in the torso area. I'd say you get a little bit more out of the torso than the waist on her. Legs, completely does splits. McFarlane style hip joints. Rotation is pretty much non-existent. They go forward all the way, back not much. Double jointed knees, and her ankle. Forward and back, rotate, tilt, rock, and toe articulation. Here's a look at Batgirl on a rooftop of Gotham City, doing her part, keeping Gotham safe as a member of the Bat family. Now let's check her out, next to some other action figures, starting off with some other McFarlane Batgirl figures. Here she is, next to McFarlane's first Batgirl. This is from the first wave, the Build a Batmobile wave. And she does share a lot of parts with the new Batgirl, but it's a different stomach and torso, diaper piece, and I think the forearms are a little bit different. And here she is, next to the Three Jokers Batgirl, a slightly improved version of McFarlane's first Batgirl. And if I had to pick 2 Batgirls to keep in my collection of Barbara Gordon, it would be these 2, the modern and the classic version. A lot of the other ones are just noise, although I do like noise. Then, next to the Gotham Knights video game Batgirl, this is a completely brand new sculpt for the video game. And now, with the Alicia Silverstone Batgirl from the movie Batman and Robin. And technically, she's not Barbara Gordon, she was Barbara Wilson, and she was Alfred's niece instead of Commissioner Gordon's daughter. So really, she's a completely made-up character for that film. Next, with the Fighting the Frozen Batgirl, which is supposed to be Cassandra Cain. Here she is, next to the actual Cassandra Cain Batgirl. Cassandra Cain was the first person to don the Batgirl identity after Barbara Gordon got crippled, and it was many, many years later. And here, next to the Stephanie Brown Batgirl, Stephanie Brown was the 4th person to be Batgirl. Betty Kane, Barbara Gordon, Cassandra Cain, and Stephanie Brown. I believe now in the comics, Barbara Gordon, Cassandra Cain, and Stephanie Brown are all Batgirl at the same time. Here are all of the McFarlane Barbara Gordon Batgirl figures, and there is one more coming out soon in a purple outfit. I believe she's part of the upcoming digital wave. And looking at all these, including the upcoming purple one, they've really covered a lot of Batgirl's looks. Now they could still make a repaint of this classic one in sort of a black and yellow outfit. They could still make the sort of Burnside Batgirl, a rebirth Batgirl, but I guess that's kind of what the Three Jokers and the Build-A-Figure one was. There are still many looks they can make, and I would love an Oracle figure And then here are all the different Batgirl figures that McFarlane has made. And there are so many more they could do. Betty Kane, numerous more looks for Barbara Gordon. Cassandra Cain had at least a couple of their looks as Orphan and Black Bat. And then Stephanie Brown. She also had a couple of different looks as Batgirl and Spoiler over the years. And hell, still cartoons and CW live action, and it goes on and on and on and on and on. Here's this Batgirl figure next to McFarlane's Batwoman. Here's this Batgirl next to the Silver Age Batman and Robin. Now they look okay together. It's not really a Silver Age Batgirl. And then Robin, he wouldn't be the Boy Wonder, he'd be the Teen Wonder at that point. Or maybe next to the Nightfall Batman, which works pretty good as a 70s Batman. And then we have the Disco, Dick Grayson Nightwing. And I guess let's pretend this is Jason Todd as Robin. I guess this would be the Bat family, just before Jason Todd died and Barbara Gordon got crippled. Now let's check her out next to some other recently released McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here she is, next to the rest of the figures that I got at Target today. We have the Guardian, the Hush version of Riddler, classic Batgirl, classic Scarecrow, and then Dark Flash. I'm still in the hunt for the Batman Returns wave. The other case assortment at Target with Black Mask, Earth 2 Batman, those guys. And then the Page Puncher wave at Target as well. Hopefully they'll hit my area soon. And looking at all these figures in front of you, Batgirl seems to be a little bit on the smaller side of things. Almost everyone else's shoulders line up. But that's okay, people are different sizes, and I'm okay with Batgirl being a little bit smaller than some of the male figures. Here's Batgirl, next to the McFarlane Toy Store exclusive Gold Label Mr. Bones and Obsidian. And here she is, next to the Target exclusive Gold Label Sandman and Mr. Miracle. Then, next to the McFarlane paint variants, we have the Frostbite Chris O'Donnell Robin, the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Gold Hush Batman, Patina Wonder Woman, and the Black White Accent Dark Knight Returns Superman. And now, with some recent McFarlane Collector's Edition figures. Both the regular and Platinum Chase variants of Dark Archer, Metron, Kite Man, Dark Stars, Mirror Master, and Deathstroke. I'm on the hunt for the Collector's Edition Beast Boy, regular and Platinum. It's the only figure missing in my entire collection of McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. If anybody out there can point me in the right direction, has some information, or can possibly help me out, please drop me a line in the comments below. It is much appreciated. Here's Batgirl, next most recent Batman wave, Troika Batman, Kenner Homage Azrael, and Luke Fox Batwing. And here she is, next to the 4th digital wave. Both the regular and Platinum Chase variants of the No Man's Land Batman, Monarch, Disco Nightwing, and Spoiler. Then, with both the yellow and green Rainbow Batman figures. And now, with the most recent wave of Page Punchers, the Golden Age Wonder Woman and Steve Trevor, and both the regular and Platinum versions of Superboy. And finally, next to the Ross exclusive 3 Jokers Batman, and David Cornsweat and Hush Superman figures. Now let's check her out, next to some action figures from different various companies, so we can see how she fits in, both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix her with. Since she's a McFarlane toy, they are typically the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the larger action figure lines I collect, and then to work my way smaller. And I'm going to include as many Batgirl figures as I can during these comparisons. Since we already checked her out next to all the other McFarlane Batgirl figures, here she is, next to some more McFarlane toys. In front of you are 5 different action figures, all from McFarlane toys, all 7-inch scale, and now, with some Jack-specific wrestling figures and Diamond Select toys, here's Batgirl, next to a can of chili beans. And here she is, with some DC Direct and NECA figures. Then, with both some Mattel and Jazzwares wrestling figures. And now, with some Mezco and Mattel DC figures. Next, with some Mafex and Hasbro Marvel Legends. And finally, with some SH Figure Arts and Jazzwares Fortnite figures. So overall, this is a very nice Batgirl figure. I've been waiting for McFarlane to do a classic Batgirl for a long time, and it did not disappoint. The head, the hair, the face, the color blue and black, and the shading, it's all very well done. Excellent job on the head sculpt. The hair just screams Barbara Gordon for that era. Her cloth soft goods cape, I think it's pretty nice. It's a little bit bulky, but I'm going to lay her down and get some creases to that thing to have it sit exactly the way I want it to. The yellow, the gray, it all looks good. Her articulation, The joints and the elbows and the ankles are a little bit dated because they're reusing the same body from so many years ago, but it still works. I really have no problem with the reuse on this figure. Her accessories are garbage. They're big and oversized and horribly painted. Sculpt paint job, great. Very happy with this Batgirl figure. Don't misunderstand me, my default Batgirl is still going to be the Three Jokers Batgirl because it's a modern Batgirl to go with my modern Bat family. But I think this is a better action figure. If I were to rate this figure, I don't see any reason to give her less than an 8 out of 10, and that's a pretty high rating in my book. She's not perfect. She could be a little better, but I'd say it's a solid 8, a very solid release for McFarlane. So this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.